vodka, gin, rum, tequila, and triple sec. Today we're making a Long Island iced tea. It's a cocktail that is synonymous with college parties and dive bars and mornings full of regret. It's basically a mix of a whole bunch of booze and sour mix and a splash of Coke. But for this version, I figured we would, balance it out a little bit, tone it down, and make it something that, everybody can enjoy. The Long Island iced tea was created back in the 70s, but it became really popular in the 80s and 90s. Its claim to fame and somewhat notorious reputation comes from the fact that there are so many types of liquors that go into it. It's a lot. I mean, we've got 5 different bottles of liquor here. And it can be a little intimidating if you ask yourself, what goes into the drink, but it's actually pretty simple. And the way that I like to remember it is these are all sort of, in my world, categorically the bar whites. And I call them the bar whites because usually when you make a Long Island and you're in a bar, you're using the less expensive liquor. These are typically the bar liquors and they sit in front of the bartender, easy to access, where you can make a drink really quickly. The white part comes from, these are all clear white liquors. I mean, vodka, clear and white. Gin, clear and white. Rum, you've got options, but you're gonna use a white rum. Tequila, again, options, but you're gonna use a silver or white tequila when you make a Long Island. And triple sec is also a white liqueur. And what makes it even easier is you don't have to worry about the ratios of these ingredients, how much vodka to how much gin or rum to triple sec, because it's all equal parts. Now, historically, this drink was made by combining all of the bar whites, usually in a pint glass, with sour mix and cola. But we're gonna skip on the sour mix because, again, we're making a cocktail that is, a little bit elevated for adults and a little more modern. So we're gonna use simple syrup and fresh lemon juice. And for the simple syrup, we're gonna wanna make sure it is a 2-to-1 ratio simple syrup. And this is gonna replace the sour mix and just give us a brighter, fresher, more modern take on the drink. Now for this last ingredient that goes in, the cola, I like to use good old-fashioned Coca-Cola, and I go with Mexican Coke because it doesn't use corn syrup. It's actually got real cane sugar. So if you can find another cola that uses fresh cane sugar as a sweetener, I highly recommend going with that. And that's essentially it. It's not a complicated drink. We have our white liquors, our version of the sour, and some cola. Now, to make the drink, we're gonna do it a little bit different because originally, like I said, the cocktail was just made in the glass, but we're gonna use a shaker tin. And this is gonna allow us to dilute the cocktail a little bit more to take the edge off the liquor, as well as mix the ingredients a little more thoroughly. Now, I like to begin by adding the liquor, and I know some people say never do that, but I actually am a bartender, so I'm gonna build it the way I like to build it. As I said, it's all equal parts. So we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of our vodka. When it comes to picking the vodka, just don't break the bank, but use something that, is somewhat decent. Then we'll add our gin, again, 1/2 ounce. I'm using Bombay Sapphire. This is a, clean, juniper forward gin. Then our rum. I'm using the Plantaray 3-star. This is, for a white rum, this has a lot of character to it. For this particular drink, I think it works really well. 1/2 ounce. And next is tequila. So we'll add 1/2 ounce to the mixing tin. Again, making sure that you're using a silver tequila. Don't use an añejo or a reposado because that's gonna really just overpower the cocktail. And lastly is the triple sec. And I'm gonna be using Cointreau because, again, we're elevating this cocktail. Cointreau is technically a triple sec. It's just a premium brand. It's got a little bit of a stronger orange flavor, a little more alcohol. So we'll add 1/2 ounce and then 1/3 of an ounce of our simple syrup, again, making sure that we're using a 2-to-1 ratio. Then it's time to add our lemon juice. So just cut our lemon and we're gonna squeeze in 3/4 of an ounce. And this fresh lemon and sugar is going to make a world of difference in this cocktail versus just some jugged sour mix. Fill the mixing tin up with ice. We'll just shake to chill and dilute for about 5 to 10 seconds. And rather than using a pint glass, we're gonna use a chilled Collins glass. And I like to fill it with some cracked ice Then strain the cocktail into the glass. And then top it off with Coca-Cola. Garnish with a lemon twist, and a straw is appropriate for this cocktail in the Collins glass. And that is a Long Island iced tea. Kicked up a notch, made for adults, elevated, no regrets. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like a sweet tea with, this extra lemoniness to it. It doesn't have that overly sweet, cloying kind of vibe that you get with, crappy sour mix. It doesn't feel like you're just drinking a gallon of booze in this one. It's a lot smoother. That dilution, the shaking helped. Now, this kind of seems like a real cocktail and not just something that you're trying to get schmammered with at the local watering hole. It's not going to, lead to me waking up tomorrow morning and questioning all of my life's decisions. When's the last time you had a Long Island iced tea? I'm curious. Like when the last time you actually drank one was. It's gotta be a long time ago. All right, cheers, I'm out. I mean, let's be honest, nobody really laughs at people for ordering the drinks that they want. It's kind of silly. This is just stuff that I see on the internet, people talking about. I mean, drink what you want. Order what you want.